All right. How did we go with our lesson from last week?
I'm still on mine. God is
So you,
as dependent on me as I am on him. That
yeah.
seems to be one that really sticks and works for me.
Hmm.
Oh. So I'm
And
still on that.
how do you apply that, Gary, out of interest?
I think of myself as a an extension. Like I was reading something, I forget what it was, but it was about being your authentic self. And, we hear all that all the time. And I'm
Mm.
like, well, what does that actually really mean? I tell the truth and say what I'm feeling. Like that doesn't feel like the authentic self. And then I read this guy, his name is, oh, what's his name? Something Mathis. And he was talking about that the authentic self, and it so resonated with me, the authentic self is that quality that you came in with as a child. So as a little tiny 2 or 3 year old kid, who were you then? Were you constantly frightened? Were you kind? Were you explorative? Were you naturally happy? Did you bring joy? Did you bring demands? Who were you? Like what was your soul like really young? And I was very kind. I was saving insects. I was, my whole thing was little animals was just like my life. And I always tried to be very kind to everyone. I would hug trees on my way to school when I was a little boy, and I was just very, very kind. And I thought that's my gift. That's what I came in to do. And everything else generates from that. So in my mind, the extension, because the only way that God needs me is that I'm an extension of it. So I do my best to be an extension through my natural propensity to be kind.
Mm.
So that's how I'm working with that. How
Mm.
can I extend myself? What's the natural, authentic me? And then to try to extend that as much as I can. And that
Beautiful.
works.
Mm. Hi, Jane. You snuck in there.
Hi there. Hey, everybody.
Hi.
Mhm.
Who else wants to share how they went for the week?
Yeah,
Go,
well,
Coral.
I watched the recording not long after you put it up, and everyone loved Joe's one. I was like writing it down and rewind a bit and write a bit more down. That was so cool. So I'm going to read it out. Would you transcend your prison and ascend to the Father? And then let the Christ in you interpret for you, and do not try to limit what you see by narrow little beliefs that are unworthy of God's Son.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's so good. And even though, you can't remember that much or just when you're out living your life, the sort of essence of it could really stick. Just sort of
Mm.
like, is this worthy of a child of God?
Mm. Beautiful.
Love
Are
it.
thinking are thinking of yourself, is this worthy of God to claim that?
Nice.
Nice.
So, Joe, you had the same one. How did you go? Was that yours as well, or was it?
Yes. And I kept the one that I've been using since back in November. Um, the one from November I used more often than I use this one, and it's a letdown. I should have paid more attention to this one this week, because even as I read it now, it's got great power to it. And I mean, still as I read it, it's like another way of removing judgment, to stop judging things. Um, in a way, it's like to be blind. how great would it be to be blind? You would not be able to see the surface things that we all judge each other for. Um, and to be able to remove that would definitely shift some perspectives on how we could treat each other way friggin' differently. But I'm not quite blind yet. I still wear glasses.
I love that joke because for me that also means that so we can actually choose what we're seeing.
Mm.
Mm.
People in ourselves, we get to choose.
Hmm,
I love
it's true.
it. Hmm.
Yeah.
How did you go, Jane?
Yeah, boy, I feel like I'm on the excuse me, the accelerated road of life. Um, I guess because I have to be, because I want to be, because um, it's necessary. Um, it's like life is just coming at me, and I'm having to think as a as a spirit having a human experience, and and that's what I'm becoming more and more and more. But truth be told, I'm also having a lot of challenges left and right. And Joe, to what you were saying, I said to someone today that I said, you know, I I grew up in a real vanilla existence in upstate New York. We had, a couple of black people. There were no, well, not really any Asians, not really to speak of, a few here and there, but not really. Everybody's last name was Smith and Jones and um, Guadalupe and Valente and um, you know that type of thing. And I said, when Muslims started to, 9/11 and before, and certainly after 9/11, oh my God, like it just exploded in my life, and my biases started to really come out. So, to what you're saying, Joe, if we were blind, just to listen to someone's heart, um, to feel and not to see, um, and so on. So, anyways, that's I take every reading every week, and I just keep carrying it. But it's like it's the things in my life that happen to me, and that I bring about, that just keep it on the accelerated road of life for me. It's there's just nothing vanilla, as it's not supposed to be. So, and I'm kind of fine with that. But I will say I'm very grateful for this 1 hour, that I wish were an hour and a half, or maybe 2 hours. So thank you.
Thanks, Jane. Mine was, would you condemn your brothers or free them? And it it does feel like a choice. Well, that is a choice. It's like, which am I choosing? And I I feel like most of the time I'm doing the freedom, which is one of my core values as well. And I feel like the conversations I've had when I think back of how everyone kind of left the table, it does feel like everyone was more free than they were when they started the conversation. So yeah, and it's just this helped me be conscious through the conversation to avoid gossip, to just be more positive and actually see the good in people. So yeah, it was quietly powerful.
Nice.
Mm, mm. Shall we start reading?
Yes.
I guess the screen showing. We're on page 208 if you've got the actual book. I'll follow along on that. Right. And we had read none before, but it was so good we were going to read it again.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'll,
Gary, would you like
I'll,
to start that one?
yeah. I I am your resurrection and your life. You live in me because you live in God, and everyone lives in you as you live in everyone. Can you then perceive unworthiness in a brother and not perceive it in yourself? And can you perceive it in yourself and not perceive it in God? Believe in the resurrection because it has been accomplished and it has been accomplished in you. This is as true now as it will ever be, for the resurrection is the will of God, which knows no time and no exceptions. But make no exceptions yourself, or you will not perceive what has been accomplished for you. For we ascend unto the Father together, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be. For such is the nature of God's Son, as his Father created him.
Beautiful. It's another one that I'm going to earmark, I think.
Mm.
Book out. It's gorgeous. Can you then perceive unworthiness in a brother and not perceive it in yourself? That's so much about what you talk about, Gary, with the subconscious mind, isn't it? It just takes everything personally, and everything you say about
Yeah,
someone else, your subconscious
yeah.
goes, yes, that's you.
Does anyone have any questions or clarifying questions about that paragraph number 4? We may
No,
be
it's
ready.
just simply beautiful.
It is. It truly is.
I love the words, for we ascend unto the Father together. It's like, wow, together. Mm. This separation is just killing us.
It reinforces the whole timey-wimey thing as well, how, time is the way that we perceive time.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
physically is not what time really is. Believe in the resurrection because it has been accomplished.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The will
Don't
of
change
God
it
knows
yet.
no time. Sorry, Gary.
Don't change it yet.
Hmm. I
And
just,
that's
yeah,
very
Jane
true,
just
isn't it?
said um, the separation is killing us. That is true on so many levels. That's just
Yeah.
incredible, really. Just on a tiny little, the thing that upset me this morning to the global separation of people. It's,
Mm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it seems to be happening in every culture and in every language.
yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Shall we go to number 5? Or should
Yep.
I don't leave number 4?
Sure. Sure.
We shall move on. Uh, anyone want to put their hand up for number 5? No? All right, I'll read it as usual,
Yeah.
as we normally do. Do not underestimate the power of the devotion of God's Son, nor the power the God he worships has over him. For he places himself at the altar of his God, whether it be the God he made or the God he created, or the God who created him. That is why his slavery is as complete as his freedom, for he will obey only the God he accepts. The God of crucifixion demands that he crucify, and his worshippers obey. In his name they crucify themselves, believing that the power of the Son of God is born of sacrifice and pain. The God of resurrection demands nothing, for he does not will to take away. He does not require obedience, for obedience implies submission. He would only have you learn your will and follow it, not in the spirit of sacrifice and submission, but in the gladness of freedom.
Hmm.
We need to go through that one. It's pretty clear, really.
I think so.
Mm. Yeah.
Number 6. Who wants to read number 6?
Sure.
Go, Coralie.
Usually my turn.
Yes.
Resurrection must compel your allegiance gladly, because it is the symbol of joy. Its whole compelling power lies in the fact that it represents what you want to be. The freedom to leave behind everything that hurts you and humbles you and frightens you cannot be thrust upon you, but it can be offered you through the grace of God. You can accept it by His grace, for God is gracious to His Son, accepting Him without question as His own. Who then is your own? The Father has given you all that is His, and He Himself is yours with them. Guard them in their resurrection, for otherwise you will not awaken God, safely surrounded by what is yours forever.
Thanks, Carly.
So it talks about them without sort of specifying who they are.
Could be the them that we come in contact with.
Mm.
The them our family members, our friends, our neighbors. Does anyone else, like when I read guard them in their resurrection, to me it seems like it's saying, another way of saying it would be to bear witness.
Mm.
I
Does
think
that
it's
sound
just,
about right?
I think it's to see them as a reflection of God. Because to be able to do that, in my mind anyways, it's like if
Right.
you can see them, regardless of their behavior, as one with God at that moment, um, you can support their ability to see themselves that way.
I love what you just said, Gary. The words regardless of their behavior
Mm.
is as key as can be.
Yep.
Mm,
I don't do that very well, but I know
Mm.
that that's the right thing to do.
yeah, me too. I have to tell you, I did accomplish that today with someone,
Yay.
um,
Yay.
a family member. Of course, of course, they're the toughest ones.
They're the
And
hardest.
yeah, and when it went from a sort of a contentious, cantankerous conversation, and I know that they were trying to get to me. They were trying to get at me. They were trying to, act out. What, you name it anything you want, but their behavior stunk. And and I kept staying the course, and I just kept sending the love and sort of like, kind of almost having a little bit of fun with their bad attitude, and I just stayed the course with it, and and then they said, "Thank you. I feel so much better now." I was like, "Yeah, don't bring your garbage here. Just dump it. Why don't you?" Um, and then I got a beautiful text. I love you.
Oh, perfect.
Well, that's how it happens, Jane. I mean, that literally is how it happens. When we're able to extend that to someone, regardless of how ornery they can be or how projecting or transferring they are,
Yeah.
when we show up in the right mind, they
Hmm.
change. And I think that's what we're supposed to do. It's a beautiful example of that, actually,
Yeah.
Jane.
Yeah.
Good
No,
for you.
well, yeah, it felt like good for me because believe me, I felt like I want to cry a river. I want to punch your running lights out. You know,
That's a spirit, Jane. That's a spirit.
and I'm like, nope, nope. You're afraid. I see that. I love you too much to not see that. And anyways, but yeah, oh, the schizophrenia of it all.
You chose differently.
Yeah.
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 Perfect. Shall we move on to number 7?
Oh, yeah. I think I want to read this one if I can.
Okay, sure.
All right. You will not find peace until you have removed the nails from the hands of God's Son. Wow. I think
Wow.
the earth is shaking under my feet right now. And taken the last thorn from his forehead. Wow, I'm sure the ground's shaking. The love of God surrounds his Son, whom the God of crucifixion condemns. Teach not that I died in vain. Teach, rather, that I did not die by demonstrating that I live in you. For the undoing of the crucifixion of God's Son is the work of the redemption, in which everyone has a part of equal value. God does not judge his guiltless Son. Having given himself to him, how could it be otherwise?
Wow, that's pretty powerful imagery, isn't it?
Really
Well,
is.
there's one
Mm,
line, teach that I did not die by demonstrating that I live in you.
Yeah.
mm.
Wow.
Hmm.
Oh,
I
Wow.
love that.
yeah,
Mm.
it's beautiful.
Shall we move on? Or does that need dissecting anymore? That's pretty clear.
The first line of the next one is really something.
All right. Joe, did you want to read that one? Or it's a
Sure.
long one? Yeah, good on you.
Give me 1 second here. 3 more words.
Yeah, you're right, Gary. That's a
What's that?
it really kind of flips the switch.
Yeah, it does.
Boy, it's a long one too. All right, we ready?
Yep.
Yes.
You have nailed yourself to a cross and placed a crown of thorns upon your own head. Yet you cannot crucify God's Son, for the will of God cannot die. His Son has been redeemed from his own crucifixion, and you cannot assign to death whom God has given eternal life. The dream of crucifixion still lies heavy on your eyes, but what you see in dreams is not reality. While you perceive the Son of God as crucified, you are asleep. And as long as you believe that you can crucify him, you are only having nightmares. You who are beginning to wake are still aware of dreams and have not yet forgotten them. The forgetting of dreams and the awareness of Christ come with the awakening of others to share your redemption. Wow.
Some more very powerful imagery there.
Yeah.
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 Does anyone have any questions about that paragraph?
Just
I
saving
just
notes in.
remembering a few weeks ago, Gary, when you said about Jesus not being mentioned in here, but that is very a very Jesus-y image there.
Mm,
Mhm.
yeah, without, yeah, certainly.
Mm.
It is, but it still hasn't said Jesus anywhere.
No.
Mm-mm.
Mm,
And when didn't you say, Gary, as well, that a lot of this actually came from someone 300 years before actually experienced this kind of stuff?
No, what I said before was that the Bible, like really, the Bible itself was compiled 300 years after the
After,
death of
yeah,
mm,
Christ
yeah.
right.
and really put together by Constantine, the Roman emperor, who was trying to neutralize the uprisings between the Christians and the pagans because they couldn't justify or rectify their gods and their different views of God. So the Roman Catholic Church made Jesus Dionysus from the pagan pantheon of gods. I don't like to call it pagan. I'll call it from the pantheon of gods. And what Dionysus did was die for your sins, was born of a virgin birth, rose from the dead. And so the Roman Catholic Church made Christ or Jesus the same qualities of Dionysus and began to start merging those qualities into the personality of Jesus. And hence we have quite the complexity surrounding Christianity. We have to remember all the mystical texts of the Bible were removed by the Roman Catholic Church and kept in vaults. So the true teachings of Christianity, the mystical teachings of Christianity, are not in the Bible. It is a book that's been compiled with some of Jesus's teachings, but a lot of it was edited for political reasons.
Mm.
And so we have a skeleton of what Jesus actually taught us.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Keep hearing the Ethiopian Bible has
The Book of
everything
Enoch.
still in it.
Yeah, the Book of Enoch is a really important mystical text that is, yeah, talking about a lot of things that people do not understand and they can't bridge it into their version of the Bible, so they eliminated it. And the Book of Enoch talks about um, gods and mystical beings from the sky occupying and living with man. And traditional Christianity can't has nothing to say about that.
Mm-hmm.
They can't bridge meaning to that from their interpretation. So read the Book of Enoch.
How did
The,
Yeah.
the
the,
Gnostics fit into this, Gary?
I don't know, but I could go way out on a limb here, which I think I will, just because it's you guys. But it's really way out there. It is. It's way out there. So every ancient culture, from ancient China to Sumeria to Egypt to even the Buddhists in Thailand and Cambodia, all of the ancient sites are on a grid, uh, um, a geographical grid of energy across the planet. So they are linked geographically, every single site from, 30,000 years ago. They're all linked. every single culture has said, and Mayans especially as well, that's another culture that I left out, that the gods came from the sky in fiery chariots, and they taught the redemption of mankind. And so when you think about that, what could possibly fit that description? And I'll leave you guys to fill that answer in. I've answered it for myself. But if that's true, all happened kind of around the same time. There were big jumps in human evolution right at the same time across the planet, which means that there had to have been something that could go across the planet to actually, especially in the Bronze Age, give every race on the planet the idea of metalsmithing. So we could have it all wrong. That's what I'm saying. Now,
Oh
is
my
there an
God,
ultimate
Gary, was it
is there an
Santa
ultimate?
Claus?
It was. How did you know? Doggone it, V, you're so smart.
Could have
But
believed it, but now.
yeah, yeah, I'm game. But the for me anyways, there is an ultimate divine source for all living things. But what people have called the great teachers and the great evolutionary masters that have come in, this is why I like the course because it calls it awareness of Christ. And Christ means the enlightened one. And my interpretation is that there have been Christs incarnating in every culture throughout time that were enlightened masters that came. And after their passing and after they did their initiations of the souls they were meant to teach, they built religions around them. And this is what we're left with now. And it doesn't mean the teachings are any less true. It just means that enlightened masters came and they went. And we take those teachings as best we can. That's why I think the Course in Miracles is so vitally important, is because it speaks more to the truth and gives us a map in order to follow a enlightened way. So I really think the Course is one of the highest teachings on the planet right now.
Mm, yeah, okay. Are we ready for number 9?
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
sure it was Santa Claus. I really am, V. Thank you for clarifying that. I love you for that, V.
Yeah, I do too.
Anyway, I think we're back to you, Gary.
You will awaken to your own call, for the call to awake is within you. If I live in you, you are awake. Yet you must see the works I do through you, or you will not perceive that I have done them unto you. Do not set limits on what you believe I can do through you, or you will not accept what I can do for you. Yet it is done already. Unless you give all that you have received, you will not know that your Redeemer liveth and that you have awakened with him. Redemption is recognized only by sharing it.
Mm.
This is a very heavy chapter.
Hmm.
The big one.
I want to just speak to this for just a moment because I did a session this afternoon with a woman who is very, very distraught. I didn't know this. This is like the third session I've done with her. And she confessed to me today that she's an Adderall addict and and drinks heavily. And her husband is also on Adderall and also drinks. So they get in these horrible fights that are terrible because they're both high, and she can't seem to get off of Adderall. So I did this intervention with her today, which was, really powerful. She's very Christian, so that was easy for me. And I just found myself channeling and calling in Christ for her and did this whole piece that I can't remember what I did, but it was very spontaneous and it made this massive impact on her. And when we were done, I kept, she kept thanking me, and I kept thinking to myself, I've never done that particular intervention before because I made it up on the fly. But that is how and what, when you align to that energy, that Christ comes through. And I thought for me, that was a really powerful um, validation.
Mm,
You move out of your own way and you evoke that power in alignment to the client's belief system. Magic can happen.
mm. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Gary.
Sure.
Yeah, love
I mean,
hearing that.
we do not know how far a kind word, a share will do for someone and how we can help. If your
Yeah.
intentions are pure, you can help.
Yes. Yeah.
Number 10's worth reading.
Okay, let's move on.
V, why don't you take that one?
It's the last one of the section too.
Yeah, I love this one. I've read it many times before.
Cool. God's Son is saved. Bring only this awareness to the sonship, and you will have a part in the redemption as valuable as mine. For your part must be like mine if you learn it of me. If you believe that yours is limited, you are limiting mine. There is no order of difficulty in miracles because all of God's sons are of equal value and their equality is their oneness. The whole power of God is in every part of him, and nothing contradictory to his will is either great or small. What does not exist has no size and no measure. To God, all things are possible, and to Christ it is given to be like the Father.
Mm.
Beautiful.
That was a big
I love that.
concept for me as we were taking this on about there's the size, there's no size in the miracle. It's not small or big. And so, whatever you think you're tackling, make it whatever size you want.
Yeah.
Mm, yeah.
Were you going to say something, Joe? Busy writing now.
Me? Yeah, busy reading. It's something Gary was saying a moment ago, about the whole kindness thing. I caught something. I don't know if it was a study or just some made up AI bullcrap, but it was posted a very good listen. But it talked about kindness and the effect kindness has. It talked about how my act of kindness to Coralie is a great act. It uplifts her, it brings all these feel good things. But now, if Gary is a witness to that kind act of Coralie, Gary also benefits equally from witnessing that kind act, and so on and so forth. And I thought that was pretty sweet how that echoed outward. And they went a little bit deeper into it too, but I can't remember where I saw it or what I saw it on. I don't know if it was a Facebook reel, something on TikTok, something that I just stumbled upon on YouTube or what.
Mm. No, that's so true, Joe. Yeah, the ripple effect.
And all
Yeah,
of
I've
us
seen
that
that.
witness it or take part in it equally gain from
Yeah,
Mm.
that one simple act of kindness.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've read that somewhere too.
Hmm.
Well, I don't know where, but it doesn't matter. Just practice it.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll always remember that I think it was on Facebook I saw it, or maybe it was on YouTube. This minister preaching on a train, on a subway, I think it was. And this guy got up and told him to shut up and sit down. And the minister kept speaking about God and Christ. And the guy hit him, knocked whatever he was reading out of it, hit him, hit the book out of his hand, and then literally hit him in the mouth, like hard hit him in the mouth. And the minister was stunned, but he did nothing. He put his hand on the person and said, "Brother, what has made you so wounded and so angry? Sit with me and tell me your story." And then the guy started just bawling and crying and saying he prayed, his father just died, and he prayed to God that God would save his father, and God didn't save his father. Therefore, how could God be kind and how could God be good? And it was truly one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. Because I
Oh,
thought to myself, that gave an example of
yeah.
truly living the Course in Miracles. Because
Mm.
this young man hit this minister hard, almost knocked him down. And I was looking at it going, I just don't know. Well, I pretty much know what I would do. I've gotten up and tore into the guy. I'm thinking that's a polar opposite, Gary, of really who you are doing your best to evolve to be. So that would
Mm.
not, of course, be the example of what to do. But I will always remember seeing that as an example of what to do. So what you just spoke about, Joe, is so accurate because now I have evidence it can be done.
Mm.
And that empowers me.
It is empowering. And, when you think about all the hundreds of thousands of people that attend, say, a church or a religious service, and really, isn't that what we just are giving as an example? Isn't that what we should be feeling and witnessing? And what we are able to talk about here as this small group. Um,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. Mm.
I'm going to stop sharing the screen so I can see all your lovely faces, and we can do our look at what we're going to work on for the week. I've got mine. Well, I thought I had mine. I was going to do see God in others and you support the ability for them to see it in themselves, but I think I've done a fair bit of that. And that last paragraph, limiting yourself limits God's ability to work through you. There is no order of difficulty in miracles because all of God's sons are of equal value.
Mm,
I got
beautiful.
mine early on. I wrote down, "For we ascend into the Father together, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be."
Joe's got that too,
I
haven't
wrote that
you?
down too. I wrote
Do
that
you?
down. That's a great one. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which one I want to use yet though, but yeah, I was just reading that one.
Good stuff.
He's
What have you got, Carly?
I thought I was going to do a long one out of the book, but then I just, on a post-it note, put the ripple effect of kindness.
Nice.
And
Ah,
it's
Mm,
just going on the computer.
yeah.
yeah, me too. I got my scotch tape.
Well, Corley, I kind of did the same thing. I kind of took a page from Gary, and it's something that I want to take for the next week with me, which is my intentions are pure and I will be of service.
Awesome.
Mm, yeah, thank you.
Who's next? Corley, have you read yours?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was just going to check if Melissa wanted to say anything, but she doesn't have to.
You said Melissa was popping in?
Sorry. Yeah.
You said
Melissa's here,
Melissa popped
but
in?
she's
Oh.
in there quietly. Ah, here she comes.
Hey there.
Well, I will share next week.
Okay.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Glad to have you here. Glad to have you all here. Thank you so much. This has been wonderful,
Thank
It's been
you.
as
good.
usual. Yeah. We'll
Thank
see you
you
all
all
again.
for always showing up
Yes.
because
Oh,
it's such an important part of all of our lives. So really
Yeah.
it
appreciative.
really is. Truly, truly,
Okay,
truly.
let's rock the Course in Miracles this week, shall we?
Yeah.
Yes, let's do it. Raise the roof.
Don't make me
Show of
start busting a
hands.
move, Jane.
That's right. Come on, Gary, you can do it. You've
Nah, I
done
used to
it
be able to
before,
bust a
you'll
move.
do it again.
Yeah. Well, Robert used to be a stripper, so maybe I could get him in here and bust a move.
Well, aren't you lucky to be on the receiving end of that?
Hey, I choose wisely.
Gosh. I'm gonna go before
We'll
this
see
gets
you
so
guys later.
R-rated.
Okay.
I'm exiting on that one. Bye bye.
Yes, yes. Oh, love it.